Okay. Hey everybody, this is your girl Misunderstood KJ. Um, as you guys know, I told you guys I'm gonna be interviewing a real estate investor who I met at Livewire, which is I think is the
Mhm.
acronym Women Dominating Women in Real Estate Dominating. Is that what that's what it
That's right.
is? Women in Real Estate Dominating. That's what it is. Yeah, Livewire. It was hosted by Sishanika. Shout out to Sishanika. And I met
Shout out.
Martine at the conference. That was like 2019, like 5 years ago, almost 5 years
Yeah, that was
ago.
a while ago. Yeah,
I don't like. I feel like it happened maybe like 2 years ago, but it's like 5 years ago. So it was right
right.
before the year before the pandemic. So
Yeah.
yeah, I like when I first met you, you were bubbly. I said, okay, she's nice. I can
I'm
hang
still
around her.
bubbly. That's my personality. I'm just a bubbly person. I like to have fun and I want to make people feel good.
Yeah. And I'm an introvert and I have
Mhm.
social anxiety. So it was kind of like it was a lot for me to put myself out there and go to Miami by myself, which I did.
Mhm.
I said, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and do it because I'm still kind of new to real estate investing. Even though I was working on a project during that time, but I was still
Mhm.
kind of new. So I always dipped in and started flipping. Like I think I had like one house during that time. Now I have four. So, but yeah, when I asked you about real estate investing, I was surprised when you said that do that full time. I said,
Mhm.
oh, I said, okay then. Then I started listening to you more, and I started looking at your page, and when you post, I said, okay, yeah, she's legit.
Yeah, I've been
People,
in this.
people be
Yeah, I was
like they
gonna
be
say I've
tripping.
been. Yeah, people do be they try to make them seem bigger than what they are. I like to be
Mhm.
as authentic as possible. I'm pretty
Mhm.
down to earth, so I don't even like care to show anything lavish or anything like
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like to show people what I'm doing and that I mean that's it.
Yeah. And so I feel like you're similar to me a little bit because I'm not flashy at all. I don't show
Hmm.
anything. I mean, not only because I'm trying to high right now, I'm trying to lose some weight, so that's another thing. But even then, I still would be flashy because I just, first of all, I'm scared. I'm scared of the new. You know how you have the new family members coming by and say, "Hey, cousin," I'm like, "Who are you?" And then
Right.
so I'm trying to like stay incognito and everything when it comes down to real estate investing, but just enough where people know that I do it, so that I can show them how to
Right.
do it. But I don't like to be flashy or anything, so I try to keep it, low key.
Right.
How about
Right.
you?
Yeah, like I mean like for us, like we drive luxury cars and stuff, but I'm definitely about to get a Toyota. Like I'm just gonna keep it real with you. Like this is
Okay.
just the type of person I am because
Hmm.
I can't fan them having to pay these high maintenance bills for a car that's not broke.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
to me that doesn't work. But what I'm getting at is like we live in a nice house, a nice neighborhood and stuff.
Okay.
So people that come to see us that know us, I mean they know that we're doing well with
Hmm.
whatever we're doing. They know that
Yeah.
I'm into real estate investing. But yeah, I'm not a flashy type of person. I just,
Yeah.
I like to enjoy time with my family.
Hmm.
If people are interested in the knowledge, I love to share it. But aside from that, I just be minding my business. That's what I do.
Yeah.
I mind
Yeah.
my business.
I saw your house though. So it's fully renovated now. I
Hmm.
remember you posting it. I said, "Oh, it's nice." So that was the house that you and your husband and your baby moved in. It was
Yeah,
a
our house, it was burnt down. Like half of the house was burnt down when we bought it. So it didn't burn when we had it, but we bought it that way. We ended up knocking down half of the house, rebuilding it back up, and
hmm.
fixing it all the way up. It was to the studs when we bought the house, so it didn't even look like a house. I mean, I could see the vision of the
Hmm.
house, but we didn't have these walls and stuff. I'm at home right now, but yeah, and it came out great. Like
Yeah.
when we were renovating it, we have a third floor. That floor had been burnt down, so we didn't even know it
Mm.
existed. So we
Uh,
just we just fixed it right back to what it looked like before, and we're like, wow, this space is huge. We need to finish this. So we ended up finishing it, And we have other plans we want to do with it too. So it's just the beginning.
Okay, okay. Well, I may need your opinion. I might post the
Okay.
pictures up. There's a property that just came available for $30,000, but it's a burn down. You can see the
Mm-hmm.
ceiling and everything. I'm like, I don't know if it's worth it or not. To get it.
I'm
But
loving it. What's the
I,
ARV in that area?
I'm gonna have to let me see if I can pull it up right quick.
This
Um,
this raw. I like this. We gonna do a
yeah,
deal right now.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's something else. Hold on. I used to get a notification from my one of the brokers that I work with. So
Mm-hmm.
I said $30,000, but I look at it, I like, oh, no roof, and it's the walls are like you can see outside walls.
Yeah, the
But
possibilities are limitless when it looks
yeah,
like that.
yeah. So I'm gonna show you right now. Shout out to Candace McEwen. She sent me
Shout out.
notifications of the houses, and
Okay.
I saw it. So see if I can pull it up on my phone.
Yeah, it was a house that I did that was burnt right before we did our house. And I want to say I got it for 30, and that was like the value of the land. So
thirty
but it
thousand
worked
dollars.
out for me. It worked out for me and the seller because the seller got their they cashed out on the insurance, and they're like, "Oh, I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to fix this up." And
Mm-mm.
they ended up selling it to me for what the land was worth, which was amazing.
Let's see. Can you see how it is?
Ooh, that's pretty.
Yeah, but
And
let's
it's
see.
a rancher.
Yeah, it's a ranch. Look at it.
Oh
Wait, hold
yeah,
on.
that.
I'm trying to pull it up. It's not showing. Okay, hold on.
Oh yeah, that look like money. You might be able to even get it cheaper than 30. Don't nobody want that. They don't want to fix that up.
Look at it.
Oh wow, look at that. Outdoor
Ah,
living room.
look at the ceiling.
Oh yeah.
It's
Oh my God.
thirty
I love
thousand
it.
dollars.
I
Now,
love it. You might be able to talk them down for real.
then, cause the neighborhood don't look bad. I'm gonna drive it tomorrow just to see how it looks. But it's not far from where I stay at now. And I was like, 30,000. I don't know if I want to pay 30,000 for that, but
All
yeah, you
right.
can. It's see through. So
Do you have, well, you may haven't looked at it yet, but do you know what the comps are in the area? What it will be
let me
worth
see.
afterward?
Pull it back up. Y'all, we talk about this stuff right now in front of y'all.
I know this is nice and raw. I like this.
Okay. The comps right now, it goes from, let's see. Mm, okay. It looks like, maybe that would be it then. Because I only see houses right now that's for sale. It looks like all of them are like kind of like run down, messed up. But they only sell for 16,000, 20,000, 25,000. Let
Oh
me see
Lord.
what it said about the estimate though. The estimate, come on now.
Well, if we doing
Oh,
real life
okay.
deals, if
200,
you want,
205,100.
that's what one of them sold for.
Yeah,
Okay. Well,
205,100.
okay.
So,
Well, if I mean, if you want, I could like look it up and get an ARV for you. But
okay.
if that's the true value, 30,000 is a good deal.
Hmm.
Usually for the burnt down ones, and I will say we paid a little bit more for our house because we knew that we might possibly move into it. But
Hmm.
usually you want to, if you're going to try to comp it for the land value, you want it
Hmm.
to be 20% of what the house is going to be worth. Like that's what you want to buy it at, or lower,
Mm,
of course. So if it's
okay.
selling in the twos, 30,000 is great.
Okay.
But
And I
you
see
can
the
try to get
range
it
is the
lower.
sales range 172,000 to 228,000.
Yeah,
That's
I
that's
still
the
would try
range
my
I need,
hand
but
and see if they take less. I mean, you said there's
hmm
other houses they're selling for 16. I'm trying to get
yeah,
the 15, $16,000
I
house
know.
for
I
real.
know. Hmm. It's not far
So
from high school, so but anyway, sorry about that.
that's
I'm
all
being a
good. You
little
got a team. If
hey,
you got a team, you in there.
yeah, I got a team. So, we'll see. But yeah, I'm gonna look at it tomorrow though and see
Yeah, if
how
you
that
want to
goes.
take it down, let me know. I'm fire damage queen over here. You never know
Yeah,
fires were in these houses before.
yeah, I'm probably gonna go live and let you see it like in person when I'm there too, so you can see.
Right.
I'm like,
Well, the only reason you would, I will say, with fire damage is that
mm-hmm.
when you get your insurance, you'll notice that a claim was filed for fire
Okay.
damage and it affects your rate, even though that
Mm,
wasn't you that burned it down. Like it
yeah.
comes with the house. And I don't really know how long it takes to drop off, but
Mm,
it's not, I mean, it's not detrimental. Like it's not gonna make or break a deal, but it might just make your insurance be a little bit more than it would be if it didn't have a fire in it.
okay. Okay. But now I know I have an expert to talk to about it. So thank you.
Yeah, yeah. I'm good at fire damage. I'm really good at it.
That's good. Yeah. But we here going to ask Martine Richardson some questions, 20 questions, y'all.
Okay.
Hopefully the question will help you guys out because I know some of y'all have DM'd me a lot of questions, and
What
I
you
try to get
do?
back to people as much as possible, but I can't I can't get it ahead, So I'm like maybe I could just
Mm-hmm.
do a video on it so people can come back and look at it like a replay or whatever.
Okay.
So, but
Cool.
the number one question is what initially attracted you to real estate investing?
Ooh, that's a great question. So, I've always had the entrepreneur spirit. My father noticed that in me because he has it. Um, but I'd say the difference between him and me is like I'll follow through on things to carry it out to the end, make it a formal business and stuff. He'll just do
Mm-hmm.
it for a little bit and then he on to something else.
Um,
But he noticed that in me. So he told me that I should get into real estate investing. And I was just like, how am I going to get into real estate investing? I don't have no money. Like, don't you need money for that?
yeah.
And he's just like, you're smart, you'll figure it out. But I went through a series of events. When I graduated from college, I live in Richmond, Virginia, for point of
Mm,
reference. And when I graduated college, I moved up to the DC area for a job. I had my degree in finance.
mm.
And I really just, to be honest, I hated it. I thought that I was
Oh,
going to really enjoy my job once I got a job with my degree, but I
yeah.
still hated it. I just realized I don't like working jobs. I like working for myself. I like
Mm-hmm.
betting on myself. That's way more fun for me.
Yeah.
So for that job, I ended up getting fired. While I was
Mm,
working there, I had bought a car while I was working there. And I just remember when I got fired, I was like, oh my God, how am I gonna pay for this car? Like that's all I could think about. And a couple of years later, I ended up moving back to Richmond. I was living with my aunt, and thank God she took me in because otherwise I might have been homeless for real. But luckily, my
yeah.
family kind of big. If she would say no, I'd go to somebody else's house.
Mm-hmm.
But my car, it ended up getting repossessed.
No.
And the next day, I started taking real estate seriously. Like I feel like I had to hit rock bottom for me to start
Mm,
taking it seriously. Someone had given me a book. It was called How to Quit Your Job in 19 Weeks by Sean Terry.
mm,
And I read it, but I didn't really take action on it. But when my car got repossessed, I was like, well, I learned how to make some money in that book. Let me see if I can just make enough to get the car back. I never got the car back, but
mm.
that started my journey of being hungry about this, wanting to learn more, wanting to create my own business. And it took a while for me to get a deal, guys. Like I've been doing this for
Yeah.
10 years and it took
Mm,
me 2 years to get a deal. But when I got the deal in 2 years, it was 5 deals. Like it was a drought, and then it started raining. But it wasn't until I decided that I wanted to keep being consistent, keep moving forward, keep doing something every single day, every single week, every single month until it started working for me, that it worked for me. And something else, and I know this is kind of a little bit off topic, but something else that really helped me when I was getting started is I listened to podcasts and I started going to meetups when I started wanting to really become successful in this. And like I remember I had sent a mailing on one time and I was so afraid. Like you probably wouldn't think that this is my personality, but it was. I'm so like I don't know these people. They're gonna hang up in my face. I don't know. But people would call me and I wouldn't answer the phone. I would call them back because I was too afraid to answer the phone.
That's me now.
And and so I would call them back. And I remember one guy, and I remember him vividly, because this was the first time I was going out to have a seller appointment. And he wasn't taking below market. The house was nice. He was like, I'm just gonna put it on the market. I gave him an offer. He laughed in my face. I came home and I said, man, this doesn't work. And then I started listening. I started getting more serious about listening to podcasts. And I remember one podcast I listened to, he said, well, how many touches did you do? And I'm like, touches? What's that? And he was saying how many times had he mailed the same people over and over. So I started doing it. I started being more like doing more repetition and, you know, consistently mailing the same people over and over. And that's kind of when it started happening for me.
Okay, that sounds good. Well, so when you did that, when you're being consistent, like who was the number one person that you were listening to? Besides, you said Sean Terry was the one that you read the book from, right? But who was the
Yeah, I
person
read
that?
his book. That's a great
Okay.
question. So, I used to listen to Wholesale and Ink,
Mm-hmm.
by Tom Crow, and I think someone else owns it now.
Yeah.
But he would tell you exactly what to do. He'd say, you
Mm.
know, go down to the courthouse and ask them for the code violation list. And if they don't give it to you, you keep going until they give it to you. And I said, all right, Tom, I'll do that. And so whatever he said, like these were good lists of people to target or whatever, that's what I did. And by listening to him consistently, that's how I got the 5 deals, from listening to him, because he would tell you exactly what to do. And I just remember like Tom and I we're friends now, which is
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
And it's like when I remember it was in a Facebook group. Somebody was bad mouthing him. They were saying like, "Oh, what he's teaching, it doesn't work. You can't get deals from doing that." So I defended him. I just said that I don't know what you're talking about. I got 5 deals just by doing what he told me to do, and he
Mm.
saw that. And then he invited me on his podcast, which invited me into his coaching program. It was amazing. Like it
Yeah.
was a slow little climb, but when we started rolling, we started rolling.
Yeah. I like
So
me and him Facebook friends too. I don't know how we got how we became Facebook friends, but we are. But yeah, I like him. He's a
right,
nice guy. I know that
right.
he's probably one. I call him one of the big wigs, one that has a lot of properties and everything. I feel like he's
Mm-hmm.
like on the same level as who has a lot of real estate investing properties that I know. I was gonna say is it Max Maxwell? No,
Maybe I don't
I
know
don't
how
talking
many
about him.
properties he has.
I don't know. It was somebody. I think Chris Crone. You know Chris Crone?
Mm-mm.
Kris, but Krohn Crone.
Mm-mm. I don't know him.
But he's always like showing his advertising of his properties and everything. So like he kind of reminded me of him. So
Okay.
I was like, okay. And then I looked at him and I was, I'm a little nosy, so I'd be like watching like when he be posting and everything. I said, okay. Then I'll deep dive and I'll go on YouTube and watch some of his interviews. I say, okay,
Mm-hmm.
he's legit, you know, because sometimes
You do
people
your
be playing.
research. I love it.
Listen, I ain't playing no games because it's just too many scammers out there right now, and I don't have time for it,
Yeah.
man. You
Yeah.
know, I have pictures of me. I went to Flipping NJ and DJ Envy's conference
Oh.
in Charlotte. I went to it in Charlotte. Now, what they were presenting, even though it was legit and everything, as far as that goes, I think what made him get in trouble with DJ, not DJ Envy, but Flipping NJ, it was a software that he was trying to push out, and I
Mm-hmm.
think that right there kind of like made everything go downhill. But as far as like real estate investing, I believe DJ Envy does have real estate properties and everything. It's
Mm-hmm.
just that unfortunately, that kind of like that didn't work out because of the things that Flipping NJ was doing. So, but yeah, I
Well, from what I heard, the partner was stealing the money.
see
That's what I heard.
see, I'm like, Lord, I'm like, and I'm gonna be honest with you. That's why I be so scared to even partner with anybody because you don't even know what they're doing behind closed doors. Because
That's true.
you could be doing everything right, and then they got something else going on the side. But since you are
Right.
attached to them because you brung on the show, now people think that you also in it, and I'm like, that's why I be like, if
Right.
when people like, let's partner up, let's partner up. I'm like, okay, can I see a HUD statement? Who do you work with? Like, who's your real estate attorney or the title company that you work
Right.
for? Like, if you can't show me that, I
Right.
can't work with you
Yeah,
because
I think for me, like I don't mind partnering if it's like on a deal, but a
mm-hmm,
long-term partnership,
yeah,
I'm not interested in that because
mm-hmm,
our goals may not be aligned forever. And I
yeah,
just don't I don't really see why I would need a partner, to be honest with you.
yeah. I already said that if we could do a deal and it's like no more than 12 months, and I get my money back and then plus the interest or whatever, then I'm fine. But
Right.
anything more than a year, I can't do it because that's like a marriage. I'm already in a marriage. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't
We
want to be in
already
another
got one
marriage.
of those, so don't
So
need another one. I
I'm like,
hear
goodness.
that.
So I try to like stay away from that. But like a deal finder, a bird dog who can like give me a list of deals and a list of potential properties that are vacant. I like to get that
Hmm.
because I like to give my people, if I'm able to close on a deal, I give them $500 for referral. So
Right,
I
right.
I can do that and everything. Or if we do like a JV, if you bring in a deal that you already have under contract, and I bring in the buyer, we can split
Yeah.
JV like that. That's how I do it. I don't, anything else I can't do it. You know,
Yeah,
I'm scared.
yeah, I understand.
I'm
I
scared.
understand fully.
Yeah.
I think it's just being cautious,
Mhm.
which is you
Yeah.
need to be because
Yeah.
people is scamming. I
Yeah.
I will tell you, people are scamming. You saw the wave of people that came, and now they're
And now they
where
gone.
are they?
Where
Where
they
they
at? Are they
at?
not pushing as much as they used to. Now they got other things going on. I still like I keep telling people I still have a 9 to 5 job. I work as an HR professional. I got a notary public. Um, what else to do? I got my resume business on the side too. I even do the Uber driving for the driving for dollars. I do the Uber driving because that's when I
Oh,
look
so
for a
smart,
house.
so you can make some money.
Exactly. So
Right.
I got that, and then there's another thing that I do too. I got so many things. I be forgetting the other thing.
You got so many jobs, you don't even remember them.
I'm
You must be
scared.
half Jamaican.
I'm the Mexican. I'm scared of being broke. Stuff I got so many jobs, but yeah. And I tell people this, like I'm the last person who's gonna tell you to quit your job. I'm like, I love
Right.
my job because I don't have to worry about always having to like what do you call it? Well, I just know that I'm gonna get a check twice a month. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Like you're not gonna be in survival mode when you're
Mm-hmm.
looking for deals. Like I
Woo!
have to get a deal
Yeah.
because you have that steady flow. So like I know like for me, because I do buy and hold mainly,
Mm-hmm.
that like if when people are saying that they want to quit their job, I'm like, wait a second.
Yeah,
You might
right.
want to build the passive income up some so your
Yeah.
lifestyle isn't changing that much, because it's gonna be a rocky road if you just relying on real estate
Mm-hmm.
for to replace the income, because sometimes it doesn't come as quick as you think it's gonna come.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest too. When I was trying to get some funding for my properties, what helped me was the fact that I had a 9 to 5 job.
Right.
Because they saw that I
Leverage
was
that
still consistent.
job.
Yeah, so I'm just leveraging me having the job to help me get funding. So I think my husband too. So
Right.
I'm like, okay, get his
That's
stuff in there
right.
too.
That's
Listen,
right.
now I'm trying,
You better get
I'm
us
trying to
this
get my
loan.
I'm trying to get my black people to get married. Get married. The right person, though, of course. But we need more of us being married because that helps with the economy of our community. But they don't think like that though.
I definitely agree. I will say that marriage is a cheat code. I'm married as well. And I say
Yep.
it's a cheat code to wealth and just getting to your
Mhm.
goals a lot faster. I know a lot of the things that I've accomplished in my life, I wouldn't have been able to accomplish it if I wasn't married, if I didn't have my husband.
Mhm.
Because I'm good at action taking.
Yeah.
Um, but he's good at like pushing me to do a little bit more, and a
Mhm.
little bit more it be working.
Yeah. Exactly. And then not only that, with your husband's income and my husband's income, when they're paying the bills and everything, I'm a little relaxed. Say I don't have to
Right.
worry about like, being in survival mode. Kind of like I can like chill a little bit while I'm building the wealth, for our community, for our family. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So
right,
it kind
right.
of
I
helps.
definitely agree with that. I
Yeah.
think for us, we kind of look at it as like I'm the wealth builder for the family.
Mhm. Yeah.
And
Me too.
then he's like, I mean, I have stability now, but
Mhm.
he was like the stability. He's making sure that we have all the basic things that we need and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And then
Yeah.
also he helps me on this side too. He's a really big thinker. So
Yeah.
some of the stuff that he thinks about, I hadn't thought about. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't live in this house. Cause I would have
Mm.
been like, oh, that's a nice dream house. He was like, no, I
See.
get it. I'm like, oh.
Okay. See. See. That's good.
So we
How many?
balance each other out.
Okay. How many bedrooms and bathrooms do you have at your house?
We have 5 bedrooms and four and a half baths. I had to count.
So you got a mansion for real.
Voila. It's kind of big. I will say this kind of
It's kind
big.
of big.
And
It's kind
we want to add a basement to it, cuz like right now my office and his office too is in one of the bedrooms.
okay.
But, hopefully we want to expand our family and we want to use
Oh.
these bedrooms, so we want
Yeah.
to eventually add a basement to our house, because our land is just like perfect for it. Our crawl space, you
Hmm.
can just walk in it
Yeah.
and you don't have to bend. And then also like our house is on a hill. So like in the front it
Hmm.
goes down and in the back it goes down. So I think it
Okay.
would be fairly easy to add that.
See. See. That's not bad. Not bad.
But
So
yeah.
so can you explain your no money down system for acquiring properties?
Yeah, of course. So basically, guys, for people that don't know me, because I don't know if I really explained what I did or anything like that. I just told you how I got into real estate. But what I've noticed is that most investors, when they get into real estate investing, that their biggest mistake is that they start with wholesaling. And I know I'm going to ruffle some
Hmm.
feathers with this, but the reason I'm saying this is their biggest mistake, and I mean, learn from my mistakes. I started with wholesaling as well,
Hmm.
but we think that we only can wholesale because we think that we have to use our money to buy the properties, when that's not the
Hmm.
case.
Yeah.
Basically, I created a no money down system where I built my buy and hold portfolio, um, and I use other people's money to do it. And now I'm
Hmm.
coaching other people on how to do that. And basically, that bought my freedom.
Hmm.
So basically, what I do, and if you know how to wholesale, you can buy and hold,
Yeah.
because at the end of, like, at the beginning of any deal, it starts with you being able to find a deal. So if you're wholesaling and you already know how to find deals, you're this much closer to starting your portfolio, because it starts with you finding a deal at a deep discount. So when I'm buying things, and I mean, you guys may have heard this before, but I like to stay all in 70% of what it's going to be worth. So,
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. So for your house that you were mentioning, you said that it might be worth 200,000. I'm just gonna use 200 because that's an easy number.
Yeah.
So for me, 70% of 200 is 140. So I want to be all in. That's buying it, my closing costs, my repair costs, all of that at 140.
140.
So if you look at that house right there, that's a really big project. That might cost you about 80, 90, 100,000 to get that place looking like how it needs to look. So in your scenario, if 140 is my top and it's gonna cost me 100,000 to fix up this place, I'm gonna take that 140 minus the 100, and then you got to factor in some closing costs. So let's say like 3,000. And we at 37, right? 37 would be the highest that I would buy something like that for. But knowing me, I'm El Cheapo. So I want it for 15 just in case, we might make a little mistake and something costs a little bit more than what you need to prepare yourself. Because things, especially since we've had so much inflation, I had a house that the rehab was supposed to be around 40 and it ended up being 70 because of inflation. Like the stuff was just so much more. And luckily I got a portfolio, so I had, places I could pull that from. But it just was like, my goodness, things are just so expensive. So it's very smart and wise of you to, like, even if your top is 37 in this case, I'm not paying 37. I want to get it for 15. I'm maybe 20. I want to build in some reserves, but the main point is I want to stay all in at 70%, so the 140. So what I would do is I've built relationships with a lot of private money lenders. And for you guys, if you don't know what a private money lender is, it's just a person that they lend money to you on deals, and they lend to you because they know, like, and trust you, and you have educated them on how they can have a safe but higher return backed by real estate, and then you show them your exit so they know how they're going to get their money back. So basically, I would go to a private money lender and I would, show them the property. Here are the comps. This is how much it's going to cost to fix up. Here are pictures, basic stuff. And I'm looking for 140,000. I can offer you 10% on this money or 8% on this, whatever you want to offer them. It depends on whatever type of what terms that you guys talked about before. And then sometimes you can offer points as well. When people start getting a little bit more savvy, they want some points. But I'm not bringing them up if you ain't bringing them up, okay? So, and I would just borrow the money from them. And that allows me to buy properties without using any of my own money. And then I would fix them up. I would, I have a system of how I know how to vet my tenants to make sure I'm getting someone that's 3 things I always look for. I look for someone that's going to pay on time, that's not going to tear up the place, and don't call me all the time about maintenance issues. So a lot of the times with the maintenance issue one, we have the power for that. Because if you fix the place up nice enough that things aren't going to break, you don't have to really worry about those calls because you already have all of that taken care of. So usually what I do is I'll get that tenant in there. And then once I get that tenant in there, I'll refinance. And usually when I refinance, I can refinance at 75% of the value. I can get my person out if it's any additional closing costs that need to be paid. And I just keep doing this over and over and over and over again. And it just has allowed me to build a portfolio that has brought me freedom. I mean, if I wanted to be a lazy bum and do nothing and just collect checks all day, I could, but I don't want to. I want to give back. I want to teach other people on how to do this because it's truly changed my life. If I would have known what I known when I first started, I mean, my portfolio is pretty good, but it would be, I mean, I'd wholesale some good deals.
Yeah.
Like I could have kept them. And I, it just would have, let me just put this into perspective for people. So I got my first rental property by accident, and it's the God honest truth. Because basically, I would always go into people's houses and I would say, "Hey, do you want a cash offer or do you want to take payments?" And everybody would always say, "I want the cash offer." But I got somebody and they were like, "I want to take the payments." And in my head, I'm like, "You want to take the payments?"
The payment.
I'm over here thinking like nobody takes the payments. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna see how I'm gonna structure this thing and then I'll, get back to you with the numbers and stuff like that. But in my head, I was thinking, I gotta figure out how to do this. Nobody has ever told me that they would take the payments. So
Mm.
what I did is I went to a meetup and and when it was question time, I said, "Hey, I went to somebody's house and he want to take the payments. I don't even know how to structure it. Can y'all help me?"
Mm.
And they used my case and they showed me exactly how I needed to structure it. And I went back to the guy and we negotiated a little bit. But for perspective, that house, I did a lease option agreement, which is, you
Mm-hmm.
have a lease with the option to buy in the future. And
Rent to
my
own.
option yeah, rent to own, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And my option to buy was to buy this house for $35,000. And I
Mm.
still own this house today.
Okay.
That house right now is worth $240,000. This is why you
Mm.
need to be holding.
Yeah.
Because why are we giving our equity away? You
Yeah.
could be building wealth for your family, but
Yeah.
instead we're saying, "Oh, I want a nice wholesale check." I mean, like, come on, y'all. We need to build wealth for our family, passive cash flow, and you don't have to use your money to do it. You
Yeah.
don't.
And
And it's just
I
you
have
need to
explained
have
that
the resources
before.
to be able to do that.
Yeah, I have explained that before with people, even people that I know that I do the business, and they're so quick to try to sell, their grandma's house, you know what I'm saying, or their mama's house that they inherit. And I'm like, y'all,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be the first person that's gonna try to convince them to keep the house. And I can like
Right.
show you how to do it because, it's one of the things that I like and I want to make sure that at least especially our people make sure that they know how to build wealth. They know how to be able to, invest in real estate. Because a lot of times they're not doing it because they just don't know. And I said, I can show you,
Right.
but it's like they'll say, I just don't want to deal with the headache. I like, there's no headache. I can show you how to
Right.
do this.
If
Like,
you
no,
know what you're doing,
mm-hmm.
there isn't a headache.
No
You just
headache. Yeah,
need more guidance, more
more guidance.
instruction
Yeah.
on how to make it not a headache. Because
See.
I'll say, like, when I first became a landlord, I was terrible at it. Like, I didn't know what I was doing. Like, I mean, I done been through the trenches, people. So,
Yeah.
like, I remember if your money was green, you could move into my house. And that was a terrible philosophy. It
Yeah.
was terrible. It kept me in eviction court. And then, like, I learned what type of checks that I need to look on people. What do I need to look at when I'm trying to vet a tenant? And that has saved me so much tremendously because now I have less turnover. And then, like, not only are we doing long-term rentals, but we're also doing midterm rentals too, where
Okay.
we target people that are coming into town for work. And it's very
Mm-hmm.
similar to a short-term rental because it's furnished, you pay for the
Yeah.
utilities and all of that good stuff.
I do that.
But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and but you get paid more. So like
Yeah.
for me it's worth it, especially when you get
Worth
a
it.
system so that you don't have to be like in it all the time.
Yeah. I consider I call it short term, midterm hybrid because I have a mixture of both. And
Okay.
listen, I had to hire a property management company because I tried before, and I have come to the realization that that's not my strong point. You know what I'm saying? I do
Mm-hmm.
not want to ever in life manage my own property ever again. I do not want to
Mm-hmm.
manage anybody else's property ever again. So shout out to you. You're a strong woman to do that, to manage your own properties or whatever. Because I learned that just I couldn't do it. I can't do it because I've
Well,
had to even go to
we.
court. I went to court and I had like an Airbnb case. Me and
Mhm.
the property
Oh
owner,
wow.
even the property owner that I was working with, and the tenant just ransacked. It was a midterm. They stayed for 30 days, not 30 days. They stayed there for 90 days, and it just ransacked the entire place. So we had to like call do a police report and everything and all that stuff. And we won the case, but the fact that
Right.
that even happened and I was managing, I said, "Oh, I'm
You
not gonna
said
do that
no,
ever."
that's too much.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and just give it to somebody else.
You
That's what I
said
hired
send
a
me the
property manager.
check.
Yeah, that was it because I can't. Yeah, I couldn't do it anymore. So,
But
like I
yeah,
said,
I'd say like for you, you work full time and stuff like
mhm,
this. I do this full time. So like
mhm,
when I did have to go to court, I to be honest, I kind of just looked at it as like a challenge. Like especially when
mm.
they used to call me last, I used
Oh
to
yeah.
see what people were doing to win. And I
Mm.
started doing that so I
Oh,
could
okay.
win. So
Okay.
like I would look, I'm like, oh, they did that to win. Let me write that down. And then like if I have a case that's challenging, because I have had challenging cases, I'll hire somebody to help me, like an
Mm.
attorney. But
Okay.
for the easy ones, easy peasy, lemon
Easy peasy.
squeezy.
Okay. Easy peasy. Okay, so another question. What was the first property you purchased and how did that experience shape your investment strategy?
That I didn't wholesale, that I kept, right?
Yeah.
I think the first one that I kept, it was I bought, this is actually a house I moved into as well.
Mm,
But I bought it subject to the existing mortgage.
okay.
Um
Explain that.
I
So explain that
Yeah.
for the people who don't know.
So right. So basically I bought a house and we transferred ownership. So the deed changed hands to the trust that I created because I buy stuff in LLCs and trusts.
Mm-hmm.
And so the deed transferred to a trust that I created, and but the mortgage on the property stayed in place. So I
Mm,
was responsible for paying that mortgage, but it was still reporting on the seller's credit report and stuff like that. And I know a lot of people think, well, why would someone do a subject to like as a seller? And I mean, to be honest, you kind of got to be in a situation where you kind of don't have any other options because it's not, if I was a seller, I don't think it would be that favorable for me either.
mm,
But if that's the only way you can make a deal work and you're really trying to sell your house, then a lot of people will go for it. And this particular seller, like I used to market to people a lot. I get my stuff now mainly from relationships, but
mm-hmm.
I used to market to people a lot. And I was actually working with his mother-in-law and I was going to do a subject to on her house
Mm,
because he and the mother-in-law were on the loan or on the house, the name of the house. I'm not sure. But anyway, it was both of them on the
mm,
hook for the house. And because she couldn't afford it on her own, she only had a social security check.
yeah.
And apparently they had some sort of family argument and he couldn't stand her no more. And he said,
Ooh.
I'm not paying your mortgage no more, forget you. And that left her facing foreclosure. But that lady, like I really helped her and tried to get her to, like, I found another place for her to move that she could afford. It was income based, blah blah blah. But she decided that she didn't want to move forward with it. And I was like,
Mm,
I was so upset with this lady. I'm like, what you gonna do? Like, we had a really like tight relationship. I was like, what you gonna do? Live on the streets?
yeah.
Like, I done found you a place. But anyway, neither here nor there. He knew what I was trying to do with his mom, and he was moving because he had another job that was in Northern Virginia. And he said he couldn't afford to pay that mortgage and the rent up in Northern Virginia. So
Right.
he was like, can you do that? Like, I didn't have to convince him or anything. He was like, can you do that thing that you were going to do with my mother-in-law on my house? And I'm like, you betcha.
Mm,
What you mean? So,
yeah.
I house hacked with that house because I mean, I don't know, maybe I just like big houses, but it was a 6-bedroom house. And at the time, I wasn't married. I didn't have any kids. So I rented out the other 5 bedrooms to college students because I was about their age. And we just had a good time and they paid my mortgage. And it was wonderful. And then actually the day that I got married is the day that I closed on the sale of that property. I wanted to take advantage of selling it because I had lived there for a certain amount of time, and we ended up making not quite 100,000, but very close to $100,000 selling that house. And I bought it
Mm.
subject to the existing one. And I will say the guy, he did need $3,000 to move. And I'm a big advocate of not, like, I'm literally telling you, I do not use my money to buy houses. Like, I do
Yeah.
not. So I reached out to an investor that I met, and I said, hey, can I get like $7,000? I need to give this seller 3,000 to move. Then I got some closing costs, and then we got a little bit of work that need to be done, like we need to paint and stuff like that. And he was like, well, what you gonna do? And I told him I'm gonna rent out the other 5 bedrooms. And he was like, oh my God, you're crazy, but I'm gonna give you the money.
Mm.
And then I did it. Like he thought I was nuts. But I did it and he believed in me, and I ended up paying him back later on. But I didn't use any of my money to get in that deal, and we ended up clearing almost $100,000 on that when I sold it.
Wow, that's good. Hmm.
I love
So
real estate.
if
It's
you clear,
wonderful.
yeah, you clear $100,000, that's after profit? Like that's after everything? Is it net or is
hmm
that?
That was net.
So y'all split it like in half, or you how did you do it?
Split it with who?
The person that gave you the money, like what's your
Oh
interest?
no
I
no no
don't
no no
know.
no! Oh no! I paid him out of another deal. Like
Oh,
he just
okay.
wanted interest on his money. I had paid him a long time ago.
Well, what's the
I
interest
paid
you
him.
do? What's the
For
interest?
him,
Yeah.
I think he probably got like 10% on his money. I mean,
Okay.
it wasn't that
10%.
much money. It was like $7,000. So like it
Okay.
wasn't
So
a ton of money. I ain't no way I was about to split 100,000 for
okay.
7,000.
That that's
Ain't
that's
no
that's
way.
what I do. I only do 10%, 10% or less because I had somebody who reached out to me um and she said that she had a house that she wanted me to look at, and I went and looked at it. So I was like, okay, that I was interested in buying it and everything. So, but she didn't have the house under contract or anything. So I was like, okay, then. So you just wanted me to, just in case I made a close on it, you can get a referral fee for it. Since what I'm saying, since it wasn't under contract, it was just something that she would like me to look at and everything. And she was like,
Right.
no, what I want to JV on it. I'm like, do you know what JV means? Because JV
Right.
is if you have the property under contract already and you are
Right.
using part of your money to put towards, to buy it, and then I'll put the money towards the renovations, and then whatever's
Right.
left, we got money back and then you split profit. That's JV. She didn't want to put her
Right.
money in it at all. She wanted me to put all my money in it, and then after I sell it, after I sell it and everything, whatever's left, I split it in half, 50% for it. I'm like, that's not a
See,
deal. You ain't put
that's
nothing in it.
that's that's insanity, people.
Yeah.
You did nothing. All you literally did was be a bird dog because you didn't
That's
even get
it.
it under contract. Like you couldn't even say
Exactly.
you wholesaled it. You didn't even get it under contract.
Yeah. I'm like, that's not how that works. So when she said that, I'm like, okay, I know, no offense, but I choose not to work with her because of that. Because I felt like that was kind of like try to scam me a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd rather just not
Yeah.
even do that. I'm like, cause
Yeah, I would have been like, no, I'm not doing that. If
I was
I
like, I could,
liked the deal, I would probably be like, I'm probably gonna get the deal and I'm just gonna give you the referral fee.
yeah,
Like
I'm
you
gonna give
can
you
just be
500.
mad.
Cause I do $500 referral fee. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give you $500 and call it a day. Now, what you do? You do 500? You do 1,000? What you do for
If
referral
when I'm
fee?
doing referrals, I'll give people at least 1,000. You a little cheap. You a little
Listen,
cheap.
whatever. Listen,
Oh dang, you
listen.
about to
I
clear like $40,000. You just
listen.
gonna give them
I
$500.
am not. Listen, I'm not cheap. I am frugal. or I'm
Well,
fiscally responsible. Okay.
well, I like to think of it as you are a good steward of your money.
Yes, yes, exactly. Like when I get to a point where I'm just like deal like that, like you know what I'm saying, then I feel more comfortable in giving thousands. But since it's like deals come and go, whenever I
Right.
gotta do 500. You know, I ain't there yet. I ain't
He like
Martine.
that's better than the nothing you was gonna get. Take it or leave it.
Exactly. I ain't Martine, so I'm
Yeah,
just kind
she
of
doing
like,
too much. She just brought the deal. She didn't get under con. You got to negotiate the deal, get it under. No, that's too
all
much.
right,
Ain't no way I'm
I,
splitting that. No way.
yeah, I'm good on that. So, oh yeah, another thing. How do you evaluate a potential property for a buy and hold investment? I think you answered that before, the 70% rule, right?
Well, yeah, but
Mm-hmm.
also you need to look at it with the exit in mind. So, like, if for me, if I'm gonna long term refinance it into some long term financing, usually I'll do like a debt service coverage ratio loan, and it'll be 30 years,
Mm,
and my rate will be the same for 30 years. So if you have an idea what that rate is going to be, you can use a amortization calculator to kind of
mm,
show you like what your payment is going to be going out. So you just want to make sure your cash flow where you need the cash flow. So like yeah, you need to look at it from a value standpoint, but then also you need to look at it from a this is my eat money standpoint. So how much am I going to be cash flowing once we get to that exit?
yeah.
So I like to always look at it with the end in mind.
Okay. So that it sounds like me. For me, I have to like it have to be multiple exit strategies, right? I need to either
Mm-hmm.
be able to keep it as in buy and hold, and then I'll do the burst strategy on it to pull out money from it
Right.
for cash out refinance,
Right.
or I can sell it, or I can yeah, I say or I acquire wholesale. Like I have to have multiple streams, multiple exit strategies in order for me to do it. If I can't do more than one exit strategy, I'm not going to even mess with it. So that's how
Right.
I think about it.
Well,
So
yeah, for me, I most of the stuff I get, I want to buy and hold.
mm-hmm,
The only way I would sell it is if those numbers didn't work going out of the deal. Like I'd say we're doing one now, and that's a full gut. That it's possible that we
mm-hmm,
might put a little bit more money into it. That the
mm-hmm,
buy and hold might not make sense unless I'm willing to sacrifice not getting some money back. Like unless I'm willing to sacrifice using some of my money. Let's put it like that.
okay, okay,
So that one we'll see once we get there. But for the most part, I mean I'm not a flipper. I like to buy and hold. So I look
yeah,
at things from that lens. So if I'm looking at multiple exits, I'm gonna be looking at, oh well, do I want this to be a long-term rental or do I want it to be a mid-term rental? I don't really do any short-term rentals.
mm-hmm,
So I would look at it from that lens.
okay, okay,
I look at
sounds
these
good.
as my little soldiers that I could put to work and
Yeah,
they must make me money.
yeah, exactly, exactly. I say, how many deals do you usually do a month? If you mind me asking, on average.
A month. Uh, well, it depends. I'd say a way to answer your question is we're doing four renovations right now.
Mm,
So
four
yeah,
at the same time
at the same time.
with the same with the same team. Like y'all go like back and forth.
Yeah, it's different. It's a back and forth thing. And then like I have multiple people I can call for stuff. And like for me, I don't have a GC. I GC it myself. I know who
Hmm.
subs to call and what I will say is doing those fire damage properties, I really learned how to GC in terms of
Hmm.
who do I need to call first, who do I need to call next? What's next? The permitting process. I learned a lot about those things. And I mean, you still have some hiccups every now and then, but um, yeah, we working on four right now.
Jeez, Lord. Listen,
I do
man.
this full time.
Listen. One deal for me, average lasts for 5 months to 7 months for one deal,
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
and I always say 6 weeks to 8 weeks. That's what I can do because I'm trying to be in and out because If I keep
Right.
it dragging for so many months, I gotta pay the monthly interest payment. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm,
that's where it I started having to pay out of pocket myself or my credit cards. You know what I'm saying? So what do
right.
you do? Like, do you pay the monthly interest payment is that included with the private money that you borrow, or how does that
Yeah,
work?
so we started structuring the money how the deal is structured, meaning I most times I wouldn't say this 100%, but most times if I'm borrowing money and the property isn't making money, I
Mm-hmm.
want my loan to be accruing, meaning I
Mm,
don't want to have to make payments on that. And you have to have really good relationships with people to do that because a lot of people don't like doing that. They want a
mm-hmm.
payment. So, if the property isn't making money, I like to have the money accruing, and yeah, it is accruing interest, but I typically just pay it when I'm done.
When you're
And
done. Okay.
luckily, and I mean, we'll see what the markets is looking like, but luckily, usually when I'm done, it's worth more, so it's even
Yeah.
better.
Yeah. I'm thinking because it's better for you because you use private money. You don't use hard money, right?
Correct. Correct.
See, if I can just stick to and give me some reliable private lenders, then I'd be great. Because
Hmm.
I have private lenders, but whenever I want to use them, they're using other people, so their money's already like being worked on, right? So I'm not able
Right.
to get to them, I guess, on time whenever it's time for me to, borrow money. So if I had
Right.
like multiple private lenders, that would be great for me. But that's
Yeah,
my
just you just have to build it because sometimes like I'll be doing a deal and everybody will be out of money and I'm like, what the world?
mm-hmm,
And then like for instance, like we had a deal that we closed not that long ago and everybody was out of money. So I had to end up going to a somebody that was more of like a hard money lender to
mm-hmm,
get the money. But I structured it to make it make sense. Like he wanted me to, for instance, this deal, he wanted me to bring $25,000 down. And I'm like,
mm,
I teach people how to bring no money down. I ain't bringing $25,000 down.
yeah.
So I just ended up borrowing the 25 from a private lender
Mm,
because I was like, I'm not doing that. And then he made the loan lower so that it would make sense to borrow that money because you don't want to over leverage too. You want to make sure that you're in a deal for enough that that deal can pay the people back. You don't want to have to be paying people back out of your pocket. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay. So I said, what are some common misconceptions people have about no money down real estate deals?
I think a lot of people, what I've seen a lot for no money down,
Mm-hmm,
is people like buying stuff with a credit card. And I mean, I'm not
mm-hmm,
knocking it, but I don't do that. My
mm-hmm.
credit is not affected when I'm doing my no money deal. And I mean, maybe they're using their business credit, so their credit not
Yeah,
affected either.
business credit.
But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, my credit is not affected when I'm doing my deal. So and I think some people might think it might be too good to be true, but it's absolutely true. If you're able to find a deal and you know how to build those relationships with people, I mean you're giving people a service by allowing them to participate in your deal. Like
Mm-hmm.
people think that the money is the biggest thing when it comes to deals, when the truth is the deal is the biggest thing when it comes to deals.
Yeah.
Like even if you have money, you can't make money on your money if you don't have a deal to put it into. So the deal is really the secret sauce. And you're doing people a favor by making sure that they have their money secured by real estate. They're making higher than average returns. And
Mm,
then you're giving them an exit of how they're going to get their money back. And worst case scenario, let's say they have to foreclose. If it's like a real private money lender, they might not want to do all of that. They're like, foreclose? Oh no. But
yeah.
they actually end up making more money if they go through that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you don't want it to get to that, but it's just that it's like for people that want to make higher returns and they want to back it by real estate, you're doing them a service by allowing them to participate in your deals. Like if you're a deal maker, you are really helping change people's lives. Their
Yeah.
retirements, you hooking them up. I remember it was one lender. that I was working with. I don't think we got a deal at the moment. But I heard him say, and this just wasn't from lending to me, he was lending to other people too. He said that he was able to triple his retirement money because he started lending on deals. Mm-hmm.
That's what I want. I want to be able to do that. That
You
sounds
know,
good too.
so something that might be interesting to you, because I know you still work your job, but
Mm-hmm.
I went to this IRA conference recently, and it's a guy that works there. I think he said he worked for, well, he didn't work there, but he still works his job. I think he works for
Mm-hmm.
Boeing or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that he could contribute after tax dollars to his 401k, right? And
Mm.
because like the people at your job, they're gonna be like, why would you want to do that? Like it's gonna
Yeah.
get taxed on the way in and taxed on the way out.
Mm-hmm.
But the point is, he takes the after tax dollars, he put it in his 401k, and because they're after tax dollars, they allow him to roll it over to a Roth IRA with the
Mm.
same retirement company, right?
Yeah.
He then rolls it over to a self-directed Roth once it's in the IRA. Because once you're in the IRA, you're golden. Like sometimes it's a little difficult to do when you're in the 401k.
Yeah.
But once you're in that IRA, you can roll it over into the self-directed. And when you're in the self-directed, now you can start investing in real estate
Yeah.
deals.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
that's like a little hack that he does. And he was like, he's a lender now. Speaking of, I need to call him.
Yeah.
I need to call him and connect because he was loving it. Like he loves his job and he loves lending.
Yeah. I might say when the people who lend money to you, um, where are they getting their money from? If you don't mind me asking. Like, because
A
that's a lot
lot
of
of
money.
this,
Yeah.
well, a lot of them, it's money that either they have in their retirement accounts. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
people they are lending from their self-directed retirement accounts. But then like some, I have one lender in particular that he owns a business and
Mm-hmm.
he had to be liquid $1 million because that's just what they required. And he had, I think, reached his I guess his term of how long it needed to be. So they kind of loosen the I guess loosen what liquid meant, meaning that
Mm.
he could hold notes
Yeah.
instead of just having cash because he just had his money in the bank and it was just making 0% return.
Mm.
And now he love invested. I remember like he was really like nervous about being a lender because he was like, I really want to do it, but I don't really know what to do, blah blah blah. So like I sat down with him at lunch and I like really explained to him how his money was saved, what type of returns he could be making. He was hyped. He was like, ooh, this sounds great. And then like I just started sending him deals. Like I just was just sending deal after deal. And he'd be like, oh, I'm not ready yet. And I sent another one. He was like, oh, I'm not ready yet. And then like I sent
Mm.
another, he was like, all right now. So I kind of just like wore him down because I knew he wanted to lend and he just
Yeah.
was nervous about it. And then like he was like, well, I don't want to go in the deal alone. I said, don't fear. I know some people that I could pair you with.
Yeah.
So I just was just, solution oriented. I wanted to make sure he got the return he wanted. I wanted him to feel safe and comfortable. And now that now he lends to me a lot. So he doesn't, to be honest, he doesn't even really look at my deals anymore. He just says, oh, you vetted it, it's good, I'll send the money. Like
Mm-hmm.
that, you get to a point where it's like that.
Yeah. How long is it before they get their money back plus interest?
Usually between
Mm-hmm.
6 months to a year. Like
Okay.
most of them
Okay.
are 6 months to a year. I have had some that lasted a little bit longer. I have one lender that he will lend for 2 years. But two
Mm.
years has been like my longest. Some people have gotten longer, but I know a lot of people like to do the 6 months because they like to turn their money more.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, a year is just like perfect because
Perfect. Mm.
sometimes I am a little slow with doing stuff. I mean, I'm gonna get the job done, but sometimes it just take a little bit longer than I expected to take. And that year, like I usually can refi you out before that. So I usually try to get the year, but 6 months to a year is usually normal.
Has there ever been time when they lost money?
For my
You know,
lenders, no.
yeah. Okay.
I know it's a guy that I know, and I was talking to him about this because I just think he has the wrong perspective. He had a deal where I referred a lender to him,
Mm-hmm.
and they ended up losing money, and he had to sell the house at a loss because of some things that happened. And he pretty much, he was saying that he was gonna make them whole, but it's kind of on a promissory note now, so it's not like any real security with that. I feel like, in my opinion, they did him a favor by letting him sell the house because they didn't
Mm-hmm.
have to do that. They could have
Yeah.
foreclosed and took it, and like they could have been nasty about it, but they weren't. And I think he's found some ways to repay him and stuff like that. But no, my lenders have never lost money on deals.
Okay.
I try to be safe in terms of where I am with numbers, and then like just when I'm fixing up something, like the reason I like to sub and find the contractors instead of hiring the GC is because I want to save money on the rehab.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I like to do it that way, and that helps some. But yeah, I haven't had that experience before.
What's the minimum that you can give, or that the lender can give to you?
That's a good
You know,
question. To buy what that's gonna be secured by a house.
yeah, which to invest in, get the money back. What's the minimum?
Yeah, so I want to say the cheapest property I ever bought was a piece of land, and it
Mm-hmm.
was like $15,000, and I had a lender lend on that. And she had first position. I've had it where like I had to put lenders together because we were like, one deal we were looking for like 360,000, and it seemed like none of my lenders had that amount. So
Mm-hmm.
I ended up putting people together so they all could be in first position. But the good part about that one is that they did know each other. They just didn't know how much money they had. So I knew, so I facilitated it to put them
Mm-hmm.
together, but they all knew each other. And in that deal, I think the lowest that somebody put in was like 10,000.
Okay. Okay.
So it don't have to be a lot of money. I try not to put people together a lot,
Mm-hmm.
but if I have to, I will, and I try to put them with people that they will know the person,
Mm-hmm.
so that I want you to feel comfortable with people, because it doesn't matter if I know them. I want you to feel comfortable, and like I know we plan for the best. I mean, well, we expect the best, but you need to plan for the worst. So
Yeah.
you need to make sure you got a good relationship with that person, because if shit hit the fan, like y'all need to make sure y'all on the same page.
Exactly.
So right,
Exactly.
so that's why I try not to pair people that much, but if I absolutely have to, I will entertain it. Let's put it like that.
Okay. I'm about to say, what's your state? Is it attorney state or a title company?
We're
Is it?
both. You can
Are
do a
you
title
both?
company or attorney, and I prefer to do attorney because
Mm-hmm.
I've had deals where people want to back out, or it's mainly when people want to back out. I have the attorneys like bark for me, and they scare them to close.
Okay. Okay. So,
We don't
so when
play it around here. You got to close. You said you was closing, we closing.
exactly, and then whenever they send the money to you, you just send it to the attorney, and then the attorney
They
sending
send
you
it
the
straight
money.
to the attorney. Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't collect anybody's money
Hmm.
straight up. Like we
I
send
said
it
that
to the
for a reason.
attorney.
I said that for a reason too, so everybody can know this. When you're giving away money, make sure an attorney is involved with getting the money, and then they're not don't ever give money straight out to the real estate investor. An attorney needs to be
Right.
involved because I've seen that happen, not for me, but I've seen it happen for other people, and that didn't work out. They got scammed. I'm like, no. I always make sure
Yeah.
I have an attorney that's doing my transaction. Rather, I am, submitting money to lend, or I'm getting money from a lender. It's always an attorney.
Right.
So I'm trying to
Yeah,
make
and
sure.
just make sure that they did the title search. make sure, I mean, unless
Mm-hmm.
you know that you're not going to be in first, but make sure you're in first position unless
Mm-hmm.
something else was stated otherwise. Just, make sure they got all them ducks in a row. Make sure they send you that recorded deed of trust. You got to cover your ducks in this thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So what are the key factors you consider to ensure a property will generate positive cash flow?
Some key factors is I want to make sure that I stay in that value.
Mm-hmm.
So, I want to make sure that I'm in that 70% of what the ARV is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
then
important.
like when I'm doing my back end, like doing the amortization calculator to see how much the loan is going to be, I
Mm-hmm.
factor in the taxes and insurance. And then also you need to know how much you're going to be renting stuff for, because I mean that's
Yeah.
important, and that's why I said that it's important for you to know if you're going to do a regular long-term rental or do a midterm rental, because the rents are different on that. And but also
Mm-hmm.
if you're going to do a midterm rental, it's going to cost you a little bit more when you're doing a renovation because you're going to have to furnish it.
Yeah.
So you just have to take into account those different considerations. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much what I do. And then like for the long-term rentals, the absolute bare minimum that I want to make on a property net is $300 a property.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily we've been fortunate enough that most of them make more than that. But that's like the bare minimum. If it can't make 300, I'm not interested.
Yeah. I know that. Now I know that because my property now 150, and I was
Mm,
trying to do at least 300, but well, they wasn't gonna pay. Okay, during that time, that was like 2019, and I wanted them to pay 1650 starting off with rent. But in that neighborhood, the average was around 1250 or something like
mm,
that. So I had to like charge 1250. But now the average in that neighborhood is 1575. So
when your
I'm
lease up?
1 year. But she's a good tenant though. She's a nurse. You know what I'm saying? She's a travel nurse. But I have a lot of equity in that house too. It's like 100,000. Um
That
so I
sounds
was
great.
thinking, yeah, so I could always pull out money in and, try to do something with it. But I'm gradually increasing it because
Mm-hmm.
the property taxes went from $800 to 2,400.
I feel
So
your pain on that.
so now I'm like I'm having to like so now it went from 12 first it was 1250, then it went to 1275. Then I said I have to do at least a 5% increase. So now it's like 1365 right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like gradually every year I'm having to increase it because I would say I would do straight up 1500, 1600 and just start off that. But for me, my heart, I don't want to do that for her because she's a good tenant. You know what I'm saying? I want to at least gradually increase it. But I
Right.
know anybody else though, anybody else who will probably get it because I get the letters too from other investors saying they want to buy the property because they know in that neighborhood it's a hot commodity right now. So I
Right.
know for a fact if I were to sell that house, because I can sell the house now if I want to, they could probably gonna kick her out because from 1300 something when everybody else is like 1575, 1600, 1700 in that they're probably gonna send like a nice letter saying, hey, as of next month it would be 1700. I already know that for a fact because I there's some right now that's just cost that much. So I said no, I don't want to do that to her because she is a good tenant. So I'll just gradually increase it. So it's just bam, an extra 300, 400 a month because
Oh, that's so
even though she could
sweet.
probably what would you do?
I am queen. We not renewing the lease. Like, I'm gonna give you I'm gonna give you enough time to find a place. But
Oh.
I mean you gotta look at what that entails. If she were to
Mhm.
move, you gotta turn the property. That's gonna cost some money. It's like, do you feel like doing all of that? Maybe not. It's probably just easier to just increase the rent. I know I do have one that I bought with a tenant. I think this is the last house I have that I bought with a tenant that tenant is still in there. And for that one, it's because they've been living there for so long and the house needs like a lot of repairs and they don't complain about it. And they pay on time and I don't feel like dealing with that right now. So I just let them stay. Cause I'm like, if they leave, that's gonna be a lot of work. I don't feel like doing all of that. I'd rather focus on these other ones. They are paying. Even if they pay late, they still pay every month. Like I just look at it, if you pay late, thank you. I'm going to go get me a steak dinner because you didn't pay the late fee. But yeah, I think that's probably the only one where I know the market rent is a lot higher, but I'm gonna leave them right there. That's fine. I don't feel like dealing with that right now.
Yeah, yeah. As far as that goes, especially with the mortgage, what do you usually use? What do you usually make sure you have an adjustable fixed rate, adjustable rate or a fixed rate? What do you usually go
Fixed for
for?
sure.
Yeah,
Fixed.
yeah.
That's why I get the debt service coverage ratio loans. For me, I plan on keeping my properties for a long time. So for me, it makes sense because your rate is fixed for 30 years. You can go get a portfolio loan from the bank, but your rate's only going to be fixed for 5 to 10 years. Then it's going to be adjustable. And then they also amortize over 25 years, which means that your payment going to be higher than it would be at 30. But I mean, at a time it made sense. Like the bank was giving really good rates, but right now the bank, DSCR, even like if you was gonna go buy a house right now, all those rates are like almost the same. They all between 7 and 8. Like that's what the rates are right now. So
7
it's
right
high,
now.
but
It's high.
But people are like, it's high, but I think this is like what rates are usually. When it was like 3 and 2, like that was like historical.
Yeah, my 3.125 right now. 3.125 for the one of them, and the other one was like 4.1. Is in 4.125. The other one. So I'm like, I think I want to keep it like that. I do not
Right.
want, like, if I were to try to borrow money, I may do like a HELOC. You know what I'm saying? To try to,
Right.
I want to be able to keep the rates. But other than that, yeah, I don't
Have
see myself.
you have you read the book? I like to always give little tips. Have you read the book How to Pay Your House Off in 5 Years?
No, but I've heard that if you pay extra for the principals, I think the principal.
But this one you use a HELOC and you're
Okay.
not putting no extra additional money out of your pocket. You letting the HELOC do the work for you. But it might be over there. I don't know. I don't see it. But it's
No.
somewhere.
You got real estate books too. I got real estate books, right?
Yeah, I got a whole lot of books. I like reading. It helps you become successful. It opens your eyes to stuff that you wouldn't have known about.
Yep. Yeah. Listen, I've been trying to get my people. Oh, stubborn. We're stubborn. When I said my people, I mean black people. I love my people, but they are stubborn, man. You can't tell them nothing. You know you
You
try.
just want to complain about your situation, but you don't want to do nothing to change it.
Exactly. I'm like, but they'll ask for money though. I'm like, that don't help
I
me
ain't got
though.
it. People
Yeah,
don't
they
ask
don't
me
help me.
for money. I ain't
They
got
don't.
it. That's
They have with me in the past. I think they stopped them because they heard me complaining about it. So I'm like, thank God. Yeah, stay away.
right.
Because I'd rather just give you, like, for me, I have this thing now. I'm in the process of trying to update my course, but the other course that I have, where it's a virtual presentation, I have a code for my family to go ahead and just you know look at it for free, so they can
Right.
go step by step, and then after that, whatever questions they have, then they can come to me. Ask me how many people have done that. That's free.
Mm. I know you got to charge people for them to take it serious.
That's free. Zero.
I mean, it is
Everybody
what
else
it
I
is.
charge, but for family, my blood family, free, because I want to make sure that they don't have any excuse. So Kristen won't help me. Kristen just gave you a link for free, so you can look step by step, and then whatever you need help with, then we can go over it so I can explain it to you. But yeah, they're
They
not.
don't people don't value free.
Yeah,
You're gonna have
they
to
don't.
charge them, family
I'm
or
gonna start
not.
family. Yeah, I'm gonna start
You're gonna
charging.
have
But
to
I'm
put a
like,
little code on there and say you didn't pay. Contact the provider to get access to this content.
yeah, it's sad, but I'm trying to help my people out, but I can't make people do
Right.
what they don't want to do. But
That's
are
true.
you the only person in your family that's do real estate investing? I know you say your dad told you to get in real estate. But are you the only
He
one?
doesn't. He doesn't.
You don't
He
do it?
doesn't do any investments. Just me.
No,
It's
it's
just
you.
me.
See?
I'm so lonely on the road.
Yeah. What you call it? I called you. They call you. Are you like the black sheep of your family, or something like that, or what are you? Are you
I
considered?
mean, maybe I'd say in terms of my blood family, I think I'm just looked at as like the successful one.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that's necessarily like black sheep.
That sheep.
But I
Mm-hmm.
feel like when it comes to my husband's family, I definitely feel like the black sheep. Like I just some stuff I just don't like I can't fully express everything that I'm doing. I think that they couldn't put their minds around it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. But I
I
think
know
he
one
also
thing.
feels that way.
Yeah. Yeah. So I know, like for me, I am not afraid of losses. Like
Mhm.
I take a hit, you know what I'm saying, just to be able to get in a
Mhm.
game. I've lost $20,000 before.
I lost more than that.
See, like that, and I have
I lost I lost a $35,000 EMD. I lost a
see,
$20,000 EMD before. Like, I mean, it happens, but I don't, you
yeah,
can't just dwell on that type of stuff. You got to keep
hmm
pushing.
yeah. So when I tell people that, they're like, "Oh no, I'm not doing it." I'm like, "Yo, it's okay," it's okay because eventually you're gonna get it back. The thing about real
Mm-hmm.
estate investing, the amount is so large usually that you usually get that money back quick anyway. So
Right, 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 right.
but they scared to even do that. They don't even want to pay $27 for a checklist. So just imagine if you want to be you want to get into real estate. I'm like, okay, well, this might be the night. You might not need to be getting real estate if you can't pay $27 for a checklist that I
Right.
sent you. I'm just
But
saying.
I
But
mean, a way to minimize losses is to get a coach, get somebody that's been
hmm
there before, so they can
yeah,
kind of steer you in the right direction, so that you won't uh, have to take as big of losses as we have.
yeah, yeah. I mean, because the first deal, I saw what I did with the first deal, so it was helping me kind of maneuver the second deal. And then when I
Mhm.
saw what I didn't like in the second deal, so then it made me maneuver even better on the third deal. So it's like everything was more of a hands-on experience in order for me to learn. So, but there are people who just afraid to even get in there. I'm like, that's why
Mhm.
even with wholesaling, I've learned that people who I tried to work with in the past with wholesaling, they're even scared to even do that. So I'm like, okay, then at
Mhm.
least become a bird dog. You know what I'm saying? At least just start out doing bird dog. Cause that's what I did. I just thought
Right.
I was just doing bird dog. I still do bird dog every now and then for other real estate investors. I had one in matter of fact, Lake Murray, Chapin in South
How much
Carolina.
they paying you? $500?
No. They paid me 2,500. Yeah, listen though. But I haven't listen, but they millionaires, okay? They millionaires.
Okay.
But that's the thing. I'm not a millionaire yet. I'm still
Okay.
trying to get there.
Okay. All right. All right.
He's a millionaire. And the thing is, that house was $500,000. It was $500,000. But my cousin was the one that helped me that property because she was trying to with somebody that she worked with and she was trying to move whatever. So I told her
Mhm.
if I was able to close on the deal, she'd get 500. Well, you know, I got my 2,500, but I gave her the 500. You know what I'm saying? So I gave her 2,000. She got the 500. You know what I'm saying? Because I was able
Why
to.
ain't splitting with her?
Because I listen. I did not know I can get to the
I'm
500.
just I'm
But the
just
thing is,
playing with
though,
you.
it wasn't under contract or anything. And I had to find the buyer. You know what I'm saying? In
Mm-hmm.
order for me to do that, so that's how I was able to do it. And then that went back to something else. So, and then not only that, she's one of my bird dogs too. So there's more deals
Okay.
coming up for her. But I mean, 2,500, 500. I said 500. I said if I kind of change it, it's gonna always change. I'm like, I want to stick to 500 for everybody. 500, 500. Because even
Right.
that, it's not always 2,500 with him. It was like it depends on the
Mm-hmm.
deal. So,
Right.
but he can afford that. I can't afford that.
Uh, uh.
I can afford $500 for me.
I hear you. I
I ain't
hear
there yet. I ain't there yet. They got $10 million with network. I'm like, I never not even. It's not even close to that right now.
you.
So,
Gotta
but
keep
yeah,
trucking.
yeah, I got cheap. Now, if I ever get to that point, I may increase it to 1,000, but I ain't
You
there
might
yet.
increase it to
So,
750.
because I'm cheap, but like, yeah, fiscally responsible. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
my business is a family business, and they're not as active in the business, even though I asked them to. Every now and then,
Mm-hmm.
it's like pulling teeth, but I deserve that money. I'm sorry. Money. Shit, whatever.
I hear you.
But anyway, let's see. So, how has your approach to real estate investing changed over the years?
So I buy and hold is like my main strategy now. Um, I when I first started, I didn't do any buy and holding because I didn't know how to. But
Do it. Yeah.
yeah. So my main strategy is buy and hold because that's what builds wealth. Um, I that's what's gonna set my family up. I mean, it's already set my family up.
Mm-hmm.
And it builds that it not only does it give you that passive money, but it also increases your net worth by so much because you're letting your assets do the work for you.
Yeah. Okay.
So I love
Mm,
it.
yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, how important is location when selecting a property, and what specific characteristics do you look for in an area?
Very important. You want to make sure that the place has some activity. Cause like a lot
Mm-hmm.
of times, you'll like I've even dabbled in doing some virtual type deals.
Mm-hmm.
And it sometimes you'll get a place that is like really country town and
Mm-hmm.
like nothing's going on and houses barely selling. So like I think it's wise to go somewhere that has a decent sized population. I feel like a decent sized population is I mean, I feel like at the bare minimum, like 10,000 people at the minimum, but like
Mm-hmm.
usually I'm trying to go somewhere that has like 100,000 people or something like that. Like something that's is significant, you know? Well, no,
Mm-hmm.
100,000, that's probably not right. Cause what I'm thinking of, I think I'm mixing up the numbers. I think 100,000 is right. 100,000 is right.
100,000.
Cause
Mm-hmm.
yeah, cause what we got in the US, 300 million, right?
Yeah. Mm,
I wanted
I don't
something like
know.
that.
Mm.
300-400 million. So I think 100,000 in a city is smart. I was confusing it for a second, but yeah, I usually try to go for metros that are a little bit bigger. But I like to go places where it's like areas of growth. Like for instance, I'm in Richmond and we have a town that's about 30 minutes away, called Petersburg. And
Mm.
Petersburg, it actually, if you guys know Trey Songz, that's where he's from.
Okay.
And it's like beat up and run down.
Mm.
And the values there have been stagnant for a very long time. But like it was one point when you would go to Petersburg and people would be like begging you to buy their house. Like they probably would have paid you to buy their damn house.
Yeah.
They
Mm.
wanted to get rid of it. And like it was easy to find a house maybe worth like to buy a house for $20,000. Like I could just go on
Ooh.
Craigslist and just buy a house for 20,000. And it wouldn't be perfect, but it would be livable. But like at that time, the ARVs in that area would be like 50,000. Now that area is becoming like a pharmaceutical manufacturing hub where so you want to get some place that they have jobs because if they have jobs, people are going to come.
Yeah.
So they started doing some jobs, they're building some new things, and now those prices down there are finally going up. Like houses are worth in the 150s. I think I got one in Petersburg that's worth 220. And I love those areas of growth because yeah, it might be hood now, but if I know something is coming that can help really push that value up and I can get in it for low, it makes sense. And then like a lot of those properties where you are buying them from low, that you can usually cash flow a lot. Like, 'cause I remember I would buy them at like 20 and I could rent it out for like 7 or 800, which that was pretty good in terms of cash flow because my payment on $20,000 was small, was tiny. So, yeah, I like to look for things like that. I know like a lot of people they like to go to more established areas, like maybe white collar areas to rent and stuff like that. I personally don't like to rent in those areas.
Yeah.
I like
You,
to rent places where I can get some equity.
what you like the C category?
Yeah, I'd say about C's. Yeah, I think I had.
Okay.
So the one of them that we have now, they're probably I wouldn't say it's an A, but maybe a B.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's cool. It costs a little bit more, but um, I know we'll have steady like high earning tenants to
Mm-hmm.
go in there. I wouldn't consider it A though. I don't think it's an A neighborhood.
Yeah.
I think it's a B.
I I call it like B minus C plus neighborhoods
Yeah.
that I like. It's like my sweet spot. I'm never gonna do A. I'm not gonna even worry about that. That's more like you only buy it because of equity. You're not buying because of equity and cash flow, you know? For like a
Yeah,
B
I
minus
know a
C plus
guy. Yeah,
yeah.
I know a guy that he does like 8 properties and he's like, oh yeah, I'm cash flowing $75 a door. And I'm like, that sucks. But I
Yeah.
mean, it's a big equity play for
Yeah,
him.
it's very
So
equity one. Yeah.
mm,
I I'm scared to just do equity. I know like in New York a lot of them just do the equity play. I can't do that. I need
right.
either it's cash flow only or it's equity and cash flow. I can't do this equity because that's
Yeah,
risky to me. Yeah.
I like both.
Yeah.
That's why I
Yeah,
like to
both of
get those
me too.
growing neighborhoods.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd say too. I'm almost done, I promise. I know you gotta get to David.
You got some good questions.
Yeah. But let me see. And this one already you already answered most of the stuff. Kind of make sure I'm not trying to ask the same question over and over again.
Well, good. All done. See.
No, no, no. Because I know other people have asked certain questions too, so I put it in this list. But what advice
Mm.
do you have for someone who wants to start investing in real estate but has limited funds?
Ooh, that's a good one because that's how
Mm-hmm.
I started.
Mm-hmm.
I would suggest that you listen to podcasts consistently. I mean, you might find one that you really, really like that you want to just keep listening to.
Mm-hmm.
And also going to local meetups. That's what made me successful.
Yeah.
I had grit and determination, and I would listen to the podcast and I would go to the meetups and I took action on the stuff that they were saying. So if they told
Mm-hmm.
me like they're like, oh, this is the way you do it, Martine was doing it.
Yeah.
So and I was, seeing how it could work for me. And then I would just get advice from other people on like the good thing about the meetups is that you're gonna be around people. Yes, some people are new, but there are some seasoned people at these meetups
Mm-hmm.
where you want to be around. Excuse me, the people that are where you want to be. I
Mm-hmm.
know that's intimidating, but when you're first starting, especially like if you're in a position like me where I don't have any family doing this, I didn't know anybody successful in doing this. all the people that I know that are successful, I met them on my journey.
Yeah.
So you need to be around those people because they're going to help encourage you and push you, and you're going to be able to see real life proof that this really works.
Okay, that's good. Um, let's see. So, how has mentoring others in real estate investing impacted your own practices?
So mentoring other people, I mean, it's brought me deals.
Mm-hmm.
I think for the most part, what I wanted to do is to, excuse me, is to bring me fulfillment. I just
Mm-hmm.
know like how much real estate has changed my life. So
Yeah.
if I'm able to offer that same thing to someone else and their life is changed forever, um, I'm really I guess what's the best word to say for this? But that means a lot to me.
Mm-hmm.
I've had people that we've done a couple of deals together and it showed them that real estate was real, and that lit that fire in them to want to keep
Mm-hmm.
going and do things like that. So just to see other people be able to build wealth for their family, build passive income. If it's a job you don't like working, being able
Mm-hmm.
to replace that money. If you like your job, stay, of course. But if
Yeah.
you don't like your job and you rather have time freedom and to do other things, then yeah, this is a way that you can build that. And
Okay.
while you're doing that, you're building wealth for your family.
All right. Sounds good. Okay, Martine. This is it for the questions that I have for you. How would they be able to contact you?
Okay,
And do you have
so
anything to offer for the people who are listening to this interview?
I do. So, if you want to just be around a community of like-minded individuals that are buying and holding, then you can come into my Facebook group. It's called The Freedom Inc. That's free. And basically, we'll ask you 3 questions. It'll, like, what's your name? Are you interested in buy and hold investing, or are you a buy and hold investor? Um, the thing popped up. I was like, what's that? But yeah, the Freedom Inc. Facebook group.
Mhm.
And for people that are really serious and you want someone to hold your hand, you want more guidance, you feel free to text me. I don't have a big sales team behind me, so I am gonna be looking at your messages, and we can just see if one-on-one coaching is a right fit for you. And my number is 804-495-1333. So you can just
804
feel free to text me, 495
sorry, 495
1333.
1333. 804
Yeah.
1333.
Yeah, feel free to text me. I'll be willing to help you in any way that I can. And if you want to do one-on-one coaching, we can see if it's a right fit for you.
All right. Thank you, Martine. I'm gonna under the video, I'm gonna put a link to the Facebook group. Is that okay? So
That'd
then
be
people
great.
can, yeah, I'll do that. And hopefully when everybody listen to the entire interview, they'll be able to see. Do you want me to post the phone number too on the video
Yeah,
or
you can post both. That's fine.
okay, okay. And are you on Instagram?
I am. I'm the
But
Queen Teen _ on Instagram.
the Cream Team underscore. You want me to put that
And
down too?
Teen is Tine. Yeah, you can.
Okay.
I do
Queen.
most of my stuff on Facebook, but maybe
Okay.
my Instagram will blow up.
Yeah. But I keep it as the Facebook group, the Freedom Inc. Facebook group, and then the phone number for them to text you.
Right.
So
Okay.
and
Cool.
don't you still have a YouTube channel too? So you did have a YouTube channel. I remember.
It's still there. It
Mm-hmm.
is still there. If YouTube allows me to rebrand it, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I am starting a podcast again.
Me too.
But yeah, but it's the Freedom Inc. podcast now.
Okay,
So
okay.
I think like I had an Instagram page for the other podcast. So I'm just gonna rebrand that page to because I got followers on there and we're talking something similar. I mean, it was all things real estate before, and now we're just talking buy and hold. But
Okay.
I think it'll be good.
Okay, okay. And I know I usually put my video unlisted because this is for my email list people, but I think you probably want everybody to see it, right? So I can just put it as public, the video, and then
Yeah,
whoever
you
wants
can
to
put
look
it as
at it.
public. That'd be
Okay.
great.
Okay, I'll do that then. All right,
And
y'all.
then I don't know if are you editing this part out of us talking or are you leaving it in?
Uh, well, I can stop the recording right now. I'm sorry. We talking
It still
about
say
okay.
recording.
I'm about to stop the recording, y'all. But thank y'all for listening. Okay. Have a great day.